Hello. I wanted to take a minute to talk about some of the flexibility of the user interface in Vicinity 4.0. Specifically, I'm going to look at this flexibility through the eyes of batch entry. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a batch ticket and first talk a little bit about the formula flexibility and how you can design a formula to do exactly, to represent exactly what you're making out on the floor. We have adopted a process of unit procedures, operations, and phases. So there's a hierarchy to our formula. You've got a machine that can have capacities and runtimes. You've got operations that can define QC tests and kind of breaks in the process. And then you've got phases, which include the typical ingredients, operator instructions, byproducts and co-products, putting things back on hand in this case, as well as text phrases. And a text phrase is basically an instruction with predefined text, so you don't have to key it over and over and over. So we can have multiple operations, i.e. multiple unit procedures, which is multiple pieces of equipment, multiple operations, and of course multiple line items on a formula. You could also have a formula that's much more simplistic and just basically just a list of ingredients, where I do have a unit procedure, call it a mixer and an operation, but it just lists all of the ingredients and their relative proportions accordingly. So you can you can really drive it out and be very specific, or you can keep it very general. Now, our system is really built around a drop-down metaphor. You've seen me open, close a couple of sections here. This is completely controllable by the user. So, for example, let me pull up a batch ticket again. There is information in each of these sections. The general tab deals with times and dates and things like that. The end items is what I'm planning to put on hand. The procedures is the formulas, etc. We'll get down into phases, some other sections. So there are a number of sections listed here. Now, not every user wants to use every section, so you have the ability to hide or suppress sections by user. So, for example, if I'm a data entry person, my primary job is to record information after the batch ticket has been created. I might choose to turn off certain sections. So I may not need access to the date information and nor some quality information or even the cost accounting in the totals area. And by doing that, I've really simplified my user interface a good bit. So all I'm really doing is recording raw material usage and finished good production. Now, once I'm inside a section, we call this a grid, we have the ability to turn on and off columns. So there are a fair number of columns listed here, of which I may not be using some of them. So on a user-by-user basis, I can come and I can pick up the various fields that are here. So there may be certain fields that I'm not really interested in seeing, and I can come and take this down to bring it down to just the fields that I'm interested in dealing with. I can also navigate columns and put them in the order that I want to. Now, what I just did in hiding sections as well as hiding or displaying columns saves with the user. So when this user comes back in, I reopen batch entry, I'll go ahead and open up the batch ticket. You'll first see that I've only got my two sections here, but also my columns are where in my position, as well as showing the columns that I want to show. So hopefully this gives you some insight as to what we're doing related to navigation. It gives the user really the ability to set up their environment the way that they want to see it. Thanks a lot and have a great day.